I warned everyone about this yesterday, guys. We have horrible news. Carnell Tate has fallen, at least for the time being, from the 5-star ranks. He is now a high composite 4-star and double whammy. I thought there was a chance that Noah Rogers might become a 5-star in his place, but Noah Rogers is still a few spots away from being a 5-star. We had the 247 update yesterday. We had the On3 update yesterday. I talked about what happened with the 247 update. Last night, the On3 update was added to the composite, and I'm going to go over everyone's updated ranking. Noah Rogers trending upwards. We love to see it. We're hoping Noah Rogers can become a 5-star. Carnell Tate, you know, it's the ESPN thing. We're going to get into all of it. Overall, guys, it was a positive update, but I do have to tell everyone, Notre Dame's average actually climbed more than Ohio State's. Now, Ohio State still has the overall lead in terms of average, but they're very close now, and it does surprise me that Notre Dame had a better update than Ohio State, but Ohio State is still in first place. We've also got the Tackett Curtis situation, which is extremely troubling. And we'll talk about that here, but let's get to the updated rankings for many of these players. So Brandon Innis, you guys can see, still 5-star. He's been a 5-star basically since the initial rankings were released. I remember Rivals had him as their number 1 overall receiver. On3 just does not like Brandon Innis. You know, they have him at receiver number 12. Every other recruiting service has him in their top 4. So, and On3 just updated. So it's not like On3 is going to update and bump Innis. He's 80. They clearly don't like something about him. I don't know. Like, if I was a recruiting analyst, I would be hedging. I would be saying, listen, the kid's going to Ohio State. He's got a lot of talent. He's going to get developed by Brian Hartline. Garrett Wilson just went in the first round. Chris Olave just went in the first round. Jackson Smith and Jigba's going in the first round. So maybe we should have this kid ranked a little bit higher if we want to have accurate ratings. But that's just me. Either way, they have him as number 84. Time will tell if they're right. Maybe they'll push him up in their next update, but I can't imagine On3 doing another update anytime soon. Maybe late August is when the next On3 update comes. Next, we have Carnell Tate. So, guys, the reason Carnell Tate moved down is due to On3. He was a fringe. The only reason he was a fringe 5-star was because ESPN inexplicably has him ranked 134th, but On3 did move him down. He was ranked like 20th, and they moved him down like, I don't know, around 35 spots overall. And, you know, I don't know. You know, Carnell Tate was being offered a 7-figure deal by Tennessee. This kid is extremely talented. This was Brian Hartline's first target at the receiver position all the way back before he even transferred to IMG Academy. So all I can say is I think Carnell Tate's going to be a beast. You know, it is what it is. You're just going to have to deal with it. Right now, he is outside of being a 5-star. We would hope if ESPN does their summer update, there would be some movement upward. How is he the number 130? You know what? It's not even worth it, guys. It's not worth it. It's whatever. But he is not a composite 5-star, at least for the time being. Once again, you would think ESPN, even if they're down on him, rank him 70th or something. How is, you know what, it's whatever. Next, this is not an Ohio State commit, but this is a kid Ohio State desperately needs. Damon Wilson got moved up to the number 4 overall player in the country according to On3. He is now a composite 5-star according to 247 Sports. Ohio State is in on him. Alabama, oh, please help me if Alabama gets this kid. Alabama's gotten enough. They really have. They're getting enough kids. They don't need this. We need this kid so bad. And he's moving up boards. This is the elite pass rusher Ohio State could really use. So hopefully they can get him. I just wanted to make a reference. He's up to the number 4 player in the nation, according to On3. There's Noah Rogers. I will say, the funny thing I find with Noah Rogers, Rivals has Noah Rogers as the number 2 player in the state of North Carolina. It's hilarious because there's several people from North Carolina that have said during this recruiting cycle, Noah Rogers is the best prospect in North Carolina since like 2011. And Rivals doesn't even have him as the number 1 player in the state this year. So I just thought that was funny. I'm not trying to rip on these. I think Noah Rogers is like a top 2 receiver in the nation, guys. I'm just saying. I said that before. When Noah Rogers was trending to NC State, I said he was better. I thought he was better than Innis and Carnell Tate. I think all 3 of them are 5 stars, but honestly, nobody cares what I think. They're just going to say, oh, you're an Ohio State homer, so it's whatever. Noah Rogers, I mean, On3 did move, so that's a really good ranking. He's number 17 in the nation, according to On3. 247 moved him up a little bit, so he's number 42 there. ESPN has him at 57, and then once again, Rivals has him at 72. Jason Moore, we thought maybe 247 Sports might bump him up a little bit. That did not happen. So he is number 92 on 247 Sports, but he's a top 100 player in all 3 rankings, and ESPN actually has him at 41, with Rivals having him at 48 as well. So Jason Moore, really solid player. Dijon Johnson, so this is one that's just kind of annoying because I was really expecting him to shoot up the board, and 247 Sports did move him up about 70 spots. The issue is On3 moved him down like 50 spots, and they both released their rankings update on the same day. So it was like a net zero. He moved up on one site like 70 spots, but then on another site he moves down about 70 spots, and now On3 and 247 have very similar rankings for him because 247 moved him up and On3 moved him down. So a big letdown there. Also Cayenne Lee. I thought Cayenne Lee was due for a major bump. It didn't happen. So 2 major letdowns there. Jelani Thurman, the very unique tight end prospect that Ohio State got, probably I would say trending towards being a top 100 composite player. Depending on what Rivals ends up doing, he recently appeared at a top Future 50 event and was the top tight end over Riley Williams, who's one of the top tight ends in the country as well. He was actually labeled the top tight end, and Rivals has him outside of their top 250. They've got him as the number 17 tight end in the nation. That doesn't add up. I think he's due for a bump, and if he gets a bump from Rivals, he's going to be a composite top 100 player. So that's a big get for Ohio State, the most recent commit they've gotten, Thurman there. Next, Calvin Simpson-Hunt. So I just wanted to show this. On3 loves Calvin Simpson-Hunt. He's the 5th overall cornerback in the nation, according to them. ESPN, I'm not even sure they know who he is. Honestly, ESPN is a train wreck, so he's not even in their top 300. 247 has him at 180, and then Rivals has him at 195, so there is some agreement between those 2 sites, but it is interesting. On3 has him as the number 5 corner in the nation. ESPN has him as the number 34 corner in the nation, so some big discrepancies there. And then Jermaine Matthews, probably the biggest letdown, at least in court, at least for the 247 Sports update. You know, we thought there was going to be a pretty significant bump for Matthews from 247 Sports, from On3. On3 hit it out of the park. I was not expecting him to rise into the top 100, the top 70. He's at 68 overall, but ESPN still has him as 247 still has him as a 3-star. ESPN actually has him as a 4-star. Rivals also has a 4-star. Slightly inside of their top 250, so this is really the kid that saved the rankings update for Ohio State. On3 moved this kid like 200 spots up. If that wouldn't have happened, it would have been a big negative for Ohio State in this update, but the fact that he moved up like 200 spots, that saved Ohio State there. So guys, just wanted to go over some of the recent moves. Really no other big moves. The top guy, Luke Montgomery, pretty much stayed where he was. Unfortunately, the 3 stars, I don't think Will Smith is moving at all. With Will Smith, the reason they took him, he's a legacy. You know, I have no problems with a few 3 stars. They're not going to hurt anyone. Basically, every program signs just at least 1 or 2. Although, I'll be honest, Alabama is getting to the point where they sign like 1 3-star a class. But I don't think there's anything wrong with 3 or 4 3-stars in a class, especially if it's a legacy kid. There's no problems with that. Keep the bloodline going. I like that. The kid's from Ohio. And then, you know, Miles Walker is just the situation with that. Ohio State cannot recruit offensive linemen. They literally miss on like their top 20 offensive lineman targets, and then every year they do this where they're forced to take a project. Miles Walker is a project. We'll see if he develops. Maybe he will. It's a, kind of like one of those, I don't know if it's 50-50 on if he develops, but it's you would rather put yourself in a better position to where Miles Walker is not one of your best offensive linemen in your class. But that's just Ohio State has struggled to recruit the offensive tackle position, and then the Tackett Curtis situation. It's mildly concerning, guys, because we heard on and on about how this is Jim Knowles' recruit. He was putting work in. Jim Knowles, the new defensive coordinator. And the kid frickin' flees to USC? He's from Louisiana, and he's going all the way. So it's like, guys, that's a concerning development there. And that might go to Jim Knowles as a recruiter. Now, we're hoping Ohio State can get back on track in terms of defense. But that's one of those things that's like, what is going on? It's the same thing with running back recruiting. But the thing is with the linebackers, they got lucky last year with having C.J. Hicks as an in-state talent. I mean, he's a superstar. So C.J. Hicks is going to be really good. Ohio State should be okay there, but they've missed on several linebacker targets. It's really, well, guys, like, we need a pass rusher. We need an elite pass rusher still. Maybe Wilson. I'm praying it's Wilson. Keeley, the Notre Dame commit, I don't think it's going to happen. People are starting to say it's not happening. It was a long shot anyways, but the issue is Marcus Freeman is a better recruiter than Brian Kelly was. So it makes it harder to try and flip him. And Marcus Freeman's also a defensive coach, so it's going to be really hard to flip defensive commits from Notre Dame. That was a weird situation where that kid was ranked like 180th in the country. He commits to Notre Dame. Now he's like a top 5 recruit. They kind of lucked out with that, but either way, it is what it is. Ohio State, they've got to land an elite pass rusher. If it's Wilson, I'm fine with it. Just get someone elite. And then, hopefully the offensive line is pretty much, I don't know, guys. I really don't. I think they kind of got, the NIL had some impacts to it. It is what it is. But they're just struggling to land any sort of elite offensive linemen, especially elite offensive tackles. The guards, you don't really need top 100 guards. It's whatever. But the tackles, it's a problem. And then the other issue, though, I would say linebacker is not a problem. Yes, they've missed on several top targets, but based on their class last year, it's fine. Running back is more of a problem. Running back is an issue because last year, no elite running backs. This year, it's looking like no elite running backs. Maybe you like Mark Fletcher. To me, Mark Fletcher is, a good number 2 running back in a class with one other. Like, if the running back class was Richard Young and Mark Fletcher, I'd be fine. If the running back class was Cedric Baxter and Mark Fletcher, I'd be fine. But if it's only Mark Fletcher coming off a year where you didn't sign a single running back within the top 10, that becomes a bit of an issue. And I know the Cedric Baxter thing, you're not going to get him. The kid, it's an NIL kid, I understand. But that's an issue there as well. And also the other thing I'm concerned about, the cornerbacks. Cayenne Lee and Dijon Johnson, they've identified these guys. They like them. I was really expecting these guys to be thought of a little bit more highly by the recruiting services in terms of their updated rankings. Johnson moved up on one side. He moved down on the other. Cayenne Lee really didn't move. 247 Sports still has him outside of their top 200. So it's a little bit concerning there. We'll see how this develops. I think the key thing is, guys, we've got to win the national title this year. We have to. We have to. We can beat Alabama. I'm telling you. We're going to be the preseason AP number 2 team. Heisman Trophy, favorite over. C.J. Stroud is the current Heisman Trophy favorite over Bryce Young. Like, it's not even close. He's like plus 200. Bryce Young's plus 350. He is the favorite. This team has everything in front of them. Unbelievable defensive year. Get a Heisman winner. Win the national title, our recruiting's going to take off again. We're recruiting well right now. We are. But there's issues, and there's going to be teams that pass Ohio State. Unless something major changes in terms of our targets and who we land. Maybe you get Damon Wilson. Maybe you get, every one of your top targets. But, like, Alabama's got tons of guys on the board. Georgia. There's some teams that are going to pass Ohio State. But we will see what happens, guys. That was just an update on all the rankings that happened yesterday. Of course, it was very busy with both 247 and On3. releasing updated rankings the same day. The two big movers, Noah Rogers trending towards being a 5-star, and then Jermaine Matthews with a major jump, according to On3. And then the guys that went down, really only Carnell Tate suffered an unfortunate ratings loss, and hopefully he will regain his 5-star status, hopefully with an ESPN-type bump, we would hope. But we'll see. Either way, guys, that's going to do it for this video. Make sure you're following me on Twitter. Link to that's always in the description. I'm, of course, the Depressed Ginger. Thank you for watching.